Salute, salute, salute. It is Monday, and this is not our typical as of late, but we are here. We are here. We are here. Salute. Welcome everyone in. Welcome into the Jaguar Wright Effect, or the Jaguar Wright Show, or the Jaguar Wright Effect on Kickoff, depending on where you're at. Today, we're going to be having a real conversation. I'm going to be popping in and popping out, but I just wanted to say, hey, it's me. You have the right channel. It's me. Yeah, so let's get started. Salute to all of our members in the building. Quick members roll call. We got Myrna Sanchez in the building. We have Maria in the building. Maya is in the building. We got Mary A in the building. We have Yvonne, Cynthia, Carla's in the building. Uh, we got Rainbow. Welcome, Rainbow. Hold on. Oh my God. I lost track. Here we go. We got Rainbow in the building. Sherry Horton in the building. QB. See, this is crazy. Now
What happened?
that
Why? What's going on?
nosy ass phone. All I
Yeah,
said was
turn that
I said
motherfucker off.
no. All I said was a name, and this whole got the.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
found no. Ain't
make
nobody
something.
called for
Yeah,
you.
nobody asked. Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody called for you, nosy ass folks. Dr. Jacko's in the building. Oh, salute. What's going on over there? We got Truth Seeker Jace on the kick side of things. Hey, Tierra is in the building. Natasha is in the building. I think, did we already say Barb Martinez? I don't know. But hey, Barb, we got CV Bomb over there. Indeed, indeed, Truth Seeker. Indeed. Honey Bee, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Oh, the Hyro fan is here. We got Judah in the building. Hey, Reed, good to see you. Okay, so that's, our early comes members chat. Salute, salute to all of those who are here to view, but appreciate our members. We are a members driven platform. So we are members powered. We appreciate everyone that's been a loyal listener, a loyal subscriber, and more importantly, a loyal member. Thank you so much. And salute to everyone that's joining over on Kick. We had a really cool Patreon Sunday and Kick Sunday. It, you guys keep on filing in. And yeah, always a good thing. Oh, thank you so much, Avery. Appreciate you. Okay. All right. Now I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and we're gonna be doing some real talk today because there's a narrative that I see brewing, and you guys know how I feel about narratives. Oh, thank you for the jewels, QB. Appreciate you. I don't know, Sutton. Away. Is it just me, or are there like a lot of narratives that are like
Um,
like kicked around when it comes to this case?
yeah, there's a whole lot of narratives. Well, let me say this first off. I think first off, I was there, and I'm just curious to see what's going to be said or what's really going on with this whole situation with this case, man, because I think you called it before. You pretty much said this was just going to be like a spectacle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And speaking of spectacles, there was a YouTuber because y'all, I said I was going to pull up. I did. I did pull up, and just like I realized, I'm like it's not even worth it. It really ain't worth it. But very informative. Met some cool people. There's a YouTuber who was talking all kind of mess some time back, just FYI, and that fool pulled up. And remember, he said he was gonna do all kind of. He said he was gonna do all kind of stuff when he see me. This month pulled up, and you know what he did when he saw me?
What?
Nothing.
He saw you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Remember, well, so first off, y'all, I
I
was
was
in.
gonna wait, like I wasn't gonna
I
jump
just want to
right
know.
into
I
the
wanted to
yay
get
play,
this.
but apparently you
I didn't
just
say
gonna
no
jump
names.
right in.
I didn't say no names. We ain't even gotta say no names.
I'm not gonna say a name. I don't
We ain't
have to
even
say
gotta
a
say
name.
no names. You know what
That
I'm
person's
saying?
name really isn't all of that relevant because he hides behind his wife's skirt.
Yeah, the cuck. He's a cuck. But remember, remember he was talking all. I got text. I
I
got
do
not
got a
text
name
message.
that I will say, Michael Stovall.
Oh damn. Well, you got a whole song for that. No, no, no. He was saying all that. Remember, he was.
Woo!
I got the IG messages. What he said he was gonna do to this dude. You're
Mhm.
geriatric, and you came in with some young boy. I hope that was like your grandson or something. I hope it
I
wasn't
hope
some.
so.
I hope because man. But
Because the age
anyway,
you said, like, that's too old. Well, that's too young to be one of their sons. So,
very young, but nonetheless, I just say all that to say it spectacle because well, let's just get started with the whole case right off the bat, right?
and guys, please forgive me and my not so um curated and manicured appearance. This is me fresh out of the shower with nothing but a thin coat of oil,
And so
but we're here. Soap and water and a thin coat of oil. That's it, baby.
that's all you
No
really need.
deluxe.
I mean, I don't even be putting no lotion on, and that's you know. But I don't look as old as that fool. Um, but anyway, where do you want to get started? Because I had some interesting observations
Well, I
and
think we should set up the conversation. And salute,
yeah,
thank you so much for the compliments. Appreciate you guys. I promise you, I'm not fishing. I am not fishing. I am too old to be fishing for compliments. I appreciate them when I get them.
somebody said you were
Um,
fishing for compliments.
no, I was just saying I'm not. Um, oh, thank you so much, Veronica. It's so funny. In my aging process, I'm trying to like get used to the changes because there are changes. Like I have things that I've never had before. I have crow's feet. Now they're not crazy, but I do have them. But you know what I also notice? The less sun I get, it really does make a difference.
And what
Really does make
difference?
well, just in my skin, the firmness of it, all of that, like that sunlight, that natural vitamin D is so important. And girls my age need to get sun every day. That's real. That's real. So I just wanted to say to all of us 50 plus chicks, don't forget to take that walk. Don't forget to get that sun. It is important. Just don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. So, anyway, that was just my natural. No, because there's people that like to go online and they like to give natural beauty tips and they like to sit there with moisturizer and moisturize while they read people or think they reading people and stuff like that. I'm being real shady. I'm being real shady today. And we gonna see because I got a feeling there's a lot of people that pay attention to our content, right? They like to pretend like they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear it in the things that they say that pops up online. So I'm fishing. I'm fishing for a shout out. That's what I'm fishing for. So, anywho, back to hmm, this trial. And that was the only content creator that you saw, the elderly man.
There were probably others. I know that the Shakur family and the Davis family, because Keefe D's family and Pac's family was
Yeah,
there,
I'm
and but they were
sure.
not in. There were like two rooms. They were not in. I think they were up here. So
I'm
they
sure
were
they're
not
not going to be
in
in the
the.
courtroom or the overflow room.
No, not at all, not at all. As far as like other content creators, though, I really didn't see too many. I thought it would be a
I
lot
didn't.
more crowded. Yeah, I thought it would be a lot more crowded than I would, what you would expect. But today was just jury trial selection, day one.
Mhm. Yeah. These are like this is the preliminary. This is the warm up.
Yeah,
But for the defense and for the prosecution, this is one of the most important days in a trial because this is the day where they choose and select the 12 people that are going to either agree with them or disagree with them. So this is a huge day for
yeah,
the trial as a whole, for the people that are, um, you know, preparing their case and preparing to present their case. They need to make sure that they have 12 people in that box that are going to be susceptible to the things that they have to say, to the narratives that they're going to be pushing, and pray that they come with a verdict that's going to back up all the work that they've put into, preparing for this trial to present it to the public. And, you know, the person who this matters the most to right now is Duane Keefe D. Davis.
yeah.
That's the person who this matters the most to. Well, actually, that's not true because personally, I think it matters a lot to law enforcement as well.
Oh yeah,
They're not going to
yeah,
say it.
yeah.
Oh, they're not going to say it, but they are praying. Now, there have been some interesting things that I've been hearing. I've been hearing that Suge Knight, even though he was put on the witness list, has made it very clear over the weekend that he is not testifying. He will not testify. If he is forced to come or compelled to come, he will do whatever he can do to derail the case. He will not be responsible for helping send Keith Davis, Keefe D. Davis, or Keefe D. or Duane Davis to prison for the rest of his life. And he ain't no snitch, and he ain't no punk asshole, and he's not going to help law enforcement. He's been very adamant about that. That
He
his street
he's
code.
no, he's been somebody that said he don't get paid to investigate. He said that, and he said that he said he don't get paid to investigate. The only two people alive that are left that were potentially at the scene definitely Suge, and they're saying Keith Duane Keefe D, but or Davis, but
Mm,
he's now he's changing his tune. He's saying that he wasn't even in Las Vegas or in Nevada at all.
well,
He done changed, he done switched up. He done remix.
this is the thing. His story hasn't been consistent for years. Now, Andy Signore said something interesting because he was asking his audience whether or not Popcorn Planet should invest time in following this case since, they're very big on doing celebrity trials and whatnot and things of that nature. And the one thing that he said was that he doesn't feel sorry for Keefe D because Keefe D brought this on himself. He said that
Hmm.
Keefe D His big defense is supposed to be he lied and he was scamming and he was frauding and this, that, and the third, and so on and so forth. So he really doesn't feel bad for him that this is happening to him because he brought it on himself. And salute to Toy Woods. Thank you so much for the Unk Alert. But this is the thing, though. I wish they had an Unk Alert. That would be cool.
That'd be dope.
Um, but this is the thing, though. To say that you don't feel sorry for him and you feel sorry for Perez Hilton, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Like he's been like the number one defender of please don't be cruel, don't be mean. Perez Hilton is in hospital for doing to himself what he did to himself. And everyone hates him because of, you know, his very, very, very like over the top paparazzi style blogging and exposing people's baby deletions and going through people's all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, and it's funny because a lot of what Andy was saying, he kept talking about, you know, Perez Hilton's kids and he had children and he has a family and it's not fair to them, you know, because of what he did to himself and how they're being affected by it. And I'm just like, Keefe D has a family. He has a family. They were there at the courthouse today and they've
Hmm.
gone through hell over the
Hmm.
course of the past 30 years. I know for a fact that that family has been threatened. They've been intimidated. People were talking about green light and his kids.
Hmm.
You know, and to the person who came through the comments to say that I was being dishonest about meeting Keefe D's son at the courthouse. Um, Odell, you were just at the courthouse today. Would it be hard to bump into somebody at that courthouse that was attached to this case?
I'd spoke to the same person that I guess you spoke to, this cat from
Yeah.
Telemundo.
Yep. From Telemundo
Um,
a few years
yeah,
ago.
he was there. So no,
You want to know? You want to know
you're
when
gonna
I
run into
bumped into
people
Keefe D's son?
right there in the where.
In the security line.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
we were both showing up to the same proceeding around the same time. We both had to go through the same turnstile. We both had to take our stuff and run it through the little conveyor belt. We both had to be x-rayed. And he said he spoke to me first. Now, this is wild. I knew he wasn't lying when he said it was his dad because he looks just like his dad. Except for I think he's taller and a little bit lighter in complexion. But people got to be, they got to stop being so quick to run with narratives, like false narratives. And be, they got to stop being so quick to just run along with the status quo and what everybody's saying. Like this is a human being, regardless of what. And let's be clear about this. I'm no Keefe D fan. I never have been a Keefe D fan. I don't dig a lot of the stuff he's done and a lot of the stuff he said at all. But the one thing that I have said throughout the years, and I've been very consistent about it, is that he's lying, he's capping, and he's going to be sorry for it one day. Have you heard me say anything different?
Mm-mm.
I just find it funny that it took him this long to start running his mouth. I don't think he ever thought this was going to go to trial. I think he believed that they were going to discover what was real, what was the truth. and be forced to let him go.
Here's what I think. He bit off more than what he can chew because, and I hear what Andy is saying about, you know, he brought this upon himself. Well, he did, but then I think foolishly, because listen to what, like you've been saying, he had a proffer deal, and he was brought up on some drug charges that would have sent him away for life.
Long time.
So he started talking, and he was telling everything that he knew about that particular situation.
Hmm.
And he was, he was under the impression that he was getting some type of immunity.
Oh
But
no, he didn't have an impression. He made it very clear back in 2023. I remember because I was there. I left Texas with permission of the judge to move to Las Vegas so that I could cover this trial.
yeah, yeah,
That's why I went to Las Vegas in 2023.
okay,
I remember when he first started saying, it was like around December of 2023. It was the first time that he admitted publicly that he had a federal proffer deal and was demanding to be released
well, he
because he
here.
believed he had federal immunity.
What? No, that's what I was about to say. He erroneously thought that he had immunity because, in all honesty, they told him in his deal that he, whatever he said, I guess within those confines, that room will be protected.
Hmm.
But he started talking. He started talking outside,
Oh, yeah.
right? When did he do the Vlad stuff? Because I think
Well,
they're gonna bring all that up.
I know they're going to bring all of that up. And I really hope and pray that Vlad is there to testify about why he asked him all of the questions that he asked him.
It's a yeah, exactly.
Because his book
Exactly.
was out there. I don't remember anybody talking about his book. I don't remember his book being on anybody's bestsellers list. I know more about Gene Deal's books than I ever knew about Keefe D book.
Yeah, I didn't know about his book until last week.
So all that being said, a lot of this didn't become like hot topic talking point worthy until he sat with Vladimir.
Right.
I'm just saying. So let's be real. He's been saying, and it's funny because he said it in his interview over the weekend. I was paid to say it. I did it for the money. I did it, they paid me to say this. They gave me a script.
Are you talking about that phone call or?
Before the phone call.
Oh, okay.
Before the phone call, Keefe D did a bunch of interviews with local news and such, to where he said that he was innocent and they were going to have to let him go because he did not do this. They asked him about his earlier admissions. They asked him about, did he confess to it? And then he said the reason why he did it was because he got paid. He said the book, there was a ghostwriter. He said he did what people asked him to do. The question is what people asked you to do it?
Hmm.
Who was it that gave you the script? Where did all of this information, like what was the source behind all of that?
Hmm.
And now all of a sudden, there's a phone call with a mistress, Like that part is so tacky because he has a wife. And 3 years ago, when I first started going to his hearings about this, his wife was still showing up with a COVID mask on, but she was still showing up. Matter of fact, we all rode together in the same elevator after that first hearing, that first preliminary hearing, when she was there with his public defender, when they still weren't allowing him. Well, I won't say allowing him, when he couldn't get a lawyer to represent him. He must have went to, I think, like 10 different lawyers. Every last one of them turned his case down.
Mhm.
So that makes me wonder about the lawyer that he has now. But
Yeah, I was gonna look him up. They said Samson or Sampson. I gotta look him up.
so
But you
now
but you were talking about the call. I have it here.
there's
Just
a
FYI.
call.
Yeah, if you wanted to play it.
Well, let's take a listen.
And then what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Okay.
Hey, for carrot top. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, bitch. He had my life up. I clawed it up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, motherfuckers around me got me.
That's part of it. How are they just blatantly
Wait a
saying mistress?
Wait a second. Wait a second. 222. Can we listen to that again? Because let's listen to that again.
And then what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Okay.
Hey, for carrot top. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, bitch. He had my life up. I clawed it up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, motherfuckers around me got me.
Hmm. Now that's interesting because everyone's been saying that in this call, he confessed to writing the book, saying that he killed his own alibi narrative.
It didn't sound like he confessed.
That's not what I heard. What I heard her say was they said, you wrote a book. And he said, I did. That dude. Can we play it one more time?
And then what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
I said that dude did that.
Okay.
I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Carrot top. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, bitch. He had my life up. I clawed it up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, motherfuckers around me got me.
I didn't hear an admission. What I heard him saying was agreeing that yes, there was a book that he participated in, but he's not the one that wrote it. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. Not at all.
No, I'm just saying, what did you hear though? He said that dude did that.
Yeah, that's why. Hold on, because I'm trying to pull up something else. And the guy that I'm assuming the person that he's talking about is the co-author.
Yeah.
It says, Keefe D with Youth. Who is this guy? Yusuf Ja. Yeah.
Who the
And
hell
it
is
says-
Yusuf Ja? I guess he calls him Carrot Top.
I'm gonna look this guy up. This is the back of the book.
I don't hear him admitting to writing the book. He already said that there was a ghostwriter for the book, that he didn't write the book, that they hired this guy and he did whatever he did and he just went along with it for the money.
And he said he ducked him for 6 years. Is that what he's saying?
He said he had his head, he was hiding under a rock, I guess because of the book, because of what the book said. He said he was hiding under a rock for 6 years. Let's listen to that again. Because it's so interesting how people like to interpret things.
Oh, I think I know who the guy is. Hold on, we're gonna run it
And then
back.
what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Oh,
He
okay.
paid for carry time. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, bitch. He had my life up. I clawed up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, motherfuckers. Around me got
Yeah, doesn't sound like a confession or nothing like that. I think
It
he's
doesn't.
referring to the same guy who co-wrote this book.
Huh.
I think I'm gonna look into this. He might be referring to this same individual. So we got to look at what's really going on with the co-author.
By Ice T.
Well, no, the intro was by Ice-T. This came
Okay.
out. This came out in 2019.
Hmm.
Um, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. It talks about the in '92 the neighborhoods of Los Angeles, Compton, Watts, Gardena,
Mhm.
South Central were transformed by the greatest domestic disturbance uh, of this era. I guess it was supposed to be called up. That's why it's called uprising, where they were then described on as the streets, but the aftermath and the violence emerged a powerful spirit of reconciliation and change as gang members who had once fought each other for years came together in an attempt to rebuild homes, businesses, family, and most importantly, themselves. So that's just
Hmm.
a piece of a New York Times book review of this book. And
So the New York Times reviewed this book. Did they review Keefe D's book? Because I
that,
don't ever remember hearing anybody talk about that book
no,
other than in the interviews where they wanted to question him about whether or not he was behind helping execute the hit
well,
on Tupac Shakur's life.
there's reviews. I don't know if it's New York Times, but I'm looking at his
Hmm.
the person Yusuf. Maybe is that if that's who he's referring to. This guy wrote a book, "Fight the Power: Rap, Race, and Reality." Is with Spike Lee and Chuck D. He also has a Michael Jackson. He has 31 books.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot dealing with hip hop. A lot. He has Michael
Chris Todd
Jackson.
had a bunch of books too.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, he has a bunch of books. Yeah. And well, and you want to say who got a bunch of books? We Chris Todd, and it's funny you mentioned Chris Todd and them stealing Matulu's book, but that's a whole nother conversation. Baba
Well,
Matulu book.
there's a lot of stuff that's spinning the block right now. It's interesting. Maybe we'll
But
talk about that a little bit later, but
yeah, but back
let's
to this.
yeah, let's get back to the
Yeah,
topic at hand. Keefe D. You know, when you go back to that time when Tupac passed away, I remember it. Do you?
yeah, very much so.
It was hella chaotic. Thank you, Angeli. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Um,
Can I say something? Because I want to get before we even get into your story
sure.
and what you
Well, I
remember
didn't want
about
to
it.
get into the story. I just wanted to just talk about that time. But yeah, please.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do because
Yeah.
it's funny. You were you were in Philly likely at the time because
I
this
was in
happened
Philadelphia when that
in
happened.
'96. This was in
Yeah,
'96. I remember I
yeah.
was going to Compton High, and I want to hear what you remember about that time because it's kind of like it was what do you call it? A countdown from the first time I heard "Hit 'Em Up." We were out in right there by the South Bay Galleria at the mall, and
Hmm.
we stepped out, and everybody was like, "Yo, y'all heard that new Pac?" Somebody, I think the homegirl Courtney, she played it, and she was like, "Oh my God, Tupac gonna die," and we were like, "No, don't say that." But it was like a countdown from when we first heard "Hit 'Em Up"
Hmm.
till September of that time.
Almost
What do
30
you
years.
go back to when you first heard "Hit 'Em Up" to when
I mean, when I heard hit him up, I was like, this is about to be a problem. This is about to be a problem because he went in. He went all the way in. He spared no expense. And considering the kind of weirdo stuff that was going on the East Coast and all of the back and forth, like this was supposed to have been like dead in the middle of East Coast versus West Coast, nobody's safe era, but yet they were all working together and doing business together.
yeah, that lets you know it was all fake.
Very much so.
It was all
So
fabricated. We're not
when
even gonna say
you
fabricated. The word is what? It was a lot of
orchestrated,
orchestration.
it was definitely orchestrated. So you got women being used to honey trap. You've got bedroom stories. You've got allegations. You've got all kinds of stuff. But what I remember is when it got announced on Power 99, the radio station, that Tupac Shakur was severely injured and had passed away. Like we heard about the injury, but the day that they announced him and declared him gone, and they started talking about it on the radio, like there was this sense of just doom. Like yo, yeah, all of us, I think somewhere deep inside, because of the incident that happened at Quad Studios
Yeah,
and Pac's like larger than life persona, I think we all believed he was going to survive. Like I don't, yeah, I don't think anybody really believed. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He made it out of that. He'll make it out of this." So when they said he was gone, it was like, "Yo, this is crazy." And then it just became all of this outpouring and love for Pac, his music being played and people being caught up into it. And I think I've said it before, like I had an appreciation for Pac. Like I love Pac with Digital Underground. I love Pac as being from the East Coast. Juice was one of my favorite movies. Him as Bishop was larger than life. Even him in Poetic Justice. But when he went to Death Row, I felt
mm,
like he made a mistake.
mm. A lot of people did.
I'm like, you trust them dudes? But with all of the noise that was going on around Biggie, because it was Biggie and Puffy set him up at Quad Studios. And that song, Who Shot Ya? regardless of who it was actually written for, it helped push that narrative. Biggie talking about him and Faith publicly, putting it in a record. Like it was so orchestrated. Like it was put together so great. And I was just like, him leaving and going to the West Coast, I was like, that's a mistake. So I wasn't even trying to hear about it. But when he passed away, I listened to Machiavelli. Like that was the first time I listened to the project. Because I was kind of like on a Tupac boycott. Because I'm like, how you just gonna flip from the East Coast to the West Coast? And don't get me wrong, he had been kicking it with the West Coast because he was down with Digital Underground. They was from the Bay. Like, but it was just something about him planting a flag at Death Row that was just like, okay, you done gave up on the East Coast for good. And I don't think people really understand, like, East Coast rappers and East Coast culture was highly, highly prejudicial and predatory when it came to the
Mm-hmm.
roots of hip hop. Like, how many times have I said it to you? Like, I appreciate, us working together because you give me a whole nother aspect of what hip hop looked like, the history of hip hop looked like outside of the East Coast. And I know you said that most people from the East Coast are just haters, but I don't think
Let
it's
me
just, I think it
no
goes
hold
beyond that.
hold hold on. So let's not let me not say it like that because somebody will take that and construe that, and I won't be able to go nowhere in New York, right? Um, no, the people that I dealt with that were from the East Coast,
Hmm.
primarily New York, and I dealt with some cats from New Jersey down the line or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and they were haters. I'll say that. I'll definitely say
Got it. Okay. So whoever was a hater,
that.
whatever, is fine. My point is, I can give you that to a certain extent because the truth is, the East Coast hated on anybody that wasn't East Coast. We treated everybody else like they were a guest in hip hop, like they
I know.
were invited guests to hip hop. Like the East Coast, we treated even down south, like Atlanta, Bamas,
Yeah,
like
when
we are hip hop, and all of y'all are doing too much.
are taking us to
Like, no, just that
like
was y'all are doing too much. Like that was the attitude, the East Coast attitude, which is so funny when down south rap and West Coast rap really started taking over the charts because East Coast was having a hard time justifying this predatory grip and hold on hip hop. And it was also weird because of all of the crap that everybody talked. Like, it was just like, we weren't, the East Coast really wasn't as invested in hip hop culture as people would like for you to believe. Like, we really weren't. We were invested in us. We made it all about us, which is why I think the whole East Coast, West Coast, like so called war battle thing, I think that's why it sold so tight. I think that's why it was such an easy sell to get people to buy into that and then to buy into the beef, to buy into the controversy. And what it ultimately did was it sold a lot of records. It sold a shitload of mixtapes. And the underground parties and the battles and all of that stuff, like it bolstered the commercial or the consumer side. Like, you know what I mean? Of the game.
hmm
It really it wasn't about nothing. It was about getting people, because I mean battle rapping, let's just be clear, battle rapping is a huge, huge, huge part of hip hop culture. But battle rapping, it kind of played out like by the mid to the late 80s. It started becoming about whose crew was the best, and it was this and it was that and it was this. Like it's just, I don't know why we doubled down on selling aggression rather than just selling records. But people use that. It was used as a marketing like, I remember the battle of the Roxannes. Roxanne. There was Roxanne Shante. There was another Roxanne, the original Roxanne. Like there was like three or four different Roxannes at one point in time. And I'll never forget turning on the radio and hearing it. Who's the best Roxanne? Who's the real Roxanne? And Roxanne Shante, I guess she ultimately won, you know, and she got to hold down the title as the Roxanne Shante. But like even going back to BDP and just, yeah, like for whatever reason, it was always about controversy to a certain extent, but it wasn't about violence. It was the East Coast West Coast battle. Like, don't get me wrong, we had hip hop casualties, for crying out loud. Scott LaRock. Like to that day, that story, it still saddens me. We definitely had hip hop casualties. We had people who passed away. But that East Coast West Coast battle, that was something different. It was tense. It was palpable. It was visceral. You know what I mean? Like it hit different. And when Pac died, it just took it to a whole nother level. It just made it even more real. People really got in their feelings and started doubling down on those feelings. And those feelings became a way to make a move. So for Biggie to pass away 6 months later, that was just crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. That's what I remember about that time. Now, you were there. This all happened on your turf. So,
Mm.
how do you remember it?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. And thank you for your story, because definitely, you know, a perspective. Yeah, like when I was talking to the guy from Telemundo, who he's from Pacoima,
Hmm.
and I was like, yeah, I know what Pacoima is. And he was like, well, he's a little bit younger than us, but he remembers. And he was just like, yeah, being from LA and being here at the time, that's something special, and not a lot of people can really speak on. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, you know. And that's
Yeah,
why I asked you that question, because I was like, I remember distinctively, like, yo, Biggie, I mean, Pac took that shot at Big, and we was like, yo, whoa. It's almost like how
F you,
now
bitch, and the click you claim.
how how everybody is talking about
Woo!
Dr- Drake dissing Kendrick way back in 2015, and people are just now catching on. And it's like, yeah, they've been beefing. So the whole "who shot you" thing, supposedly it was a mistake, because Biggie was taking a shot at LL, right? Like it wasn't supposed to have been for Pac. It just was like supposedly bad timing. That's what they're saying.
It was better
But
marketing. It was better marketing to
right,
let the public believe it was
yep.
Pac.
And that song
And it
just came
happened
out.
not long after Pac got hit at Quad Studios and then was forced to go to
To go to jail, and he was in
jail.
jail, and it was just like, Oh no, this is not. This is like, wait, what? Read the room, Biggie. But Biggie did it. Pac came out. Pac, from what I understood, knew who really was behind that whole little situation, but he figured, well, I'm not going to directly say who, but I'm gonna go ahead and implicate and say uh, it was Puffy and them, Bad Boy, blah blah blah, because they know, like he said, like if I'm in New York and I get jumped and y'all don't know who did it, then I'm calling y'all out, and that's pretty much what Pac did. Pac was like, and that's some real shit. It's like if
Yeah.
if y'all let this happen over here, and y'all supposed to,
Yeah.
they supposed to be cool. They're supposed to be cool. But anyway, it
The
it,
funny
it, it
thing is Biggie did want to do something about it. It was Diddy that played dead on it.
well, yeah, because Diddy was, you already know what that was. And Pac wasn't yet on death row yet, y'all.
No.
Pac wasn't on death row yet. Pac was still in jail. He got released from jail. There was this whole rumor about him signing on a blood oath on a napkin or something. I don't know. I just remember back day people were talking all kind of crazy stuff about how he was able to get out of jail and got on death row. And everybody went crazy when he got out. I think he got out what, November, and then by February he had an album.
It was
And this
insane. It
it
was
was
insane.
90, beginning of 96. He had that album out, and then Hit 'Em Up came out a little bit after the album, and then it was just like, yo, what's up with this Hit 'Em Up? And like I said, we were all listening to it,
It
and
went
we
to
were
the
just
next level.
like, yo, this a Pac crazy. And the homegirl was like, Pac finna die. And we was like, no, don't say that. And lo and behold, Pac dead in September.
That's what happened.
Almost 30 years to
That's
where
what
we're at right now, because we're about a month off from when he passed.
happened.
Now, 6 months later, so when Pac got hit, I had just started going to Compton High,
Okay.
and there was rumors of Biggie having, or Puffy really, or Biggie having kind of connections with some Southside Crips. And then this happened in March, early March. Biggie was out here. Well, I'm making my way back to LA. He was in LA,
Mhm.
right? And he was kicking it with Southsiders. And here's a picture of some Southside Crips. That's Keefe D, right? Ain't that Keefe D?
Yeah.
That's his
That's
nephew,
Keefe
Baby
D.
Lane, right?
Hmm.
And then on that weekend,
And that's who used to look out for them
yeah,
while they were in the city.
yep. And then unfortunately, I remember that weekend in March, because Biggie was out here. I think he did the wake up show. I was kind of hot at him because he dissed DJ Revolution, because
Mm.
uh Biggie at the time was like, and he was, you remember Tracy Lee, and everywhere
Yeah.
that my crew go. Okay, that song was
Tracy
dope.
Lee was a friend of mine.
Tracy Lee, yeah, Tracy Lee was dope, and Biggie was on him like, yo, that dude Tracy Lee is hot, dope. When it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
and then I think Biggie wanted to freestyle to some Tracy Lee, and DJ Revolution
Yeah.
didn't have any Tracy Lee, and dude was like, you ain't no real DJ if you ain't got no Tracy Lee. So Biggie was out here dissing DJ Revolution. You could ask Sway. I remember that night. I was
Hmm.
I was heated. I was like, why he dissing DJ Revolution? Shout out to DJ Revolution. Anyway, that night, I remember just going to sleep, waking up the next morning, because this happened right here, this untimely little situation where Biggie ended up being pow pow right here on Wilshire and um, Fairfax. And that was it for him. But yeah,
Last
yeah.
Son of Krypton has an interesting questions. Can we get into Pac's family lawyers?
We'll do that. We'll do
Ooh.
that another time. We got a few weeks, because this whole case is
Ooh.
about gonna be about 5-6 weeks. It's not gonna officially start till next week. So there's no need for me to get back out to the court, and it's not gonna officially start until next week. We'll get
There's
into
no
that.
point right now.
We'll
We
get into
went,
that.
we look, we were there, we had boots on the ground, we saw what needed to be seen.
So yeah, I just wanted to get your take on that though, because I think some people, they were in the chat saying they were 10 years old, they were in junior high at the time. Some people
I
were not
know.
born yet, and that's
That's what makes
understandable.
all of this so tricky because it's been 30 years.
And not a lot of people got memory like that. They don't remember.
Very few people got memory like that. A good share of people were paid to forget
Hmm.
from that time. And there have been so many different storylines and narratives ran about everything that happened. Like, let me just take a shot. It's like when I see people from back then, from back that time, running their mouth now, talking as if they really, 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 really know what's going on. When I think about Roxanne Mack sitting over there with Art of Dialogue, who, in my opinion, is becoming one of the most annoying content creators.
Hmm.
Um, I used to kind of bang with him a little bit. I thought his little series that he did, because I think a lot of people forgot Art of Dialogue. He built his fast quick numbers to get up from like 50,000 to 500,000 off of the back of Keith Murray.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Keith Murray
Like,
was going crazy back then.
Keith
Yeah,
Murray was the Jaguar, right, for
yeah,
the Art of Dialogue.
yeah.
And it's funny because you don't even hear Art of Dialogue even mention nothing about Keith Murray.
And
Matter of fact, you don't hear anybody talking anything
no,
about Keith Murray anymore.
no. And shout out to Keith Murray. You know my story about Keith Murray. Shout out to Keith Murray though.
But which story? You got a story about? I got stories about Keith Murray. Who
Now,
don't got a
not
story
like
about
in a
Keith
bad
Murray?
way. Not like in a bad way. Keith Murray to me, good dude. So shout out to him. I always like
That's what's up.
rocked with
Keith
him.
Murray was drunk and high out of his mind and annoying to tour with.
He was drunk when I saw him.
He stayed drunk, but I could understand why. He
Yeah.
still ain't never gonna tell the truth about his relationship with Eric Sermon. And I knew that
Oh,
Art of Dialogue was on some BS when he didn't really talk about his relationship with Eric Sermon.
mm, mm,
Because see, Keith know why Eric Sermon jumped out that window.
I was,
A lot of people really don't like they like to forget. I think that's why a lot of people hate me or have such great disdain for me, because I have such a great memory. I don't forget. The summer that I worked the show tour as a roadie, I got to live with all of those dudes. So when people start talking, you know, about Redman, Reggie Noble being a little on the wild side, I have no problem with acknowledging it because I know it to be true. I seen it with my own eyes. I watched what happened. I watched, oh my goodness, Onyx, Fredro, Sticky Finger. All we got is us. They used to say that shit from the sun up to the sundown, high out their mind, drunk as hell, all kinds of crazy. So salute to them. The truth is a lot of dudes that I remember coming up in the industry with. I'm surprised they still alive. The trajectory that they were on and the kind of stuff they had going on, I'm surprised they still alive. Like, it's funny, even to watch Method Man, to watch old Clifford. It's funny to see him. It is. It's cool. But when you know how people really behaved and all of the things that they did, Like it's just funny watching, but that's what time does. It gives people the ability to rewrite history. And I think that's what's happening here with this trial. Matter of fact, I know that's what's happening here with this trial. I know there's going to be a whole lot of rewriting reality and history. Roxanne Mack Johnson sitting over there with Art of Dialogue, talking about, oh yeah, because Craig was this and Craig was that, and and it was this and it was that. I seen her in somebody's chat the other day talking about, oh yeah, people are trying to make this out to be more than what it is. It's just some street stuff, and it's just as simple as Tupac stomped out Keefe D nephew, and that's why Keefe D did what he did. And you know what? That was always a good story. That was always a good story, except for all of the other details wrapped around it. All of the other details that are missing. Like I love it when people try to start simplifying things to make things look really simple because it goes to let you know that they don't want to get into the intricacies. Because if it was really that simple, Suge Knight wouldn't have a problem with talking about it. If it was that simple.
Hmm. Hmm. Why he doesn't want to talk about it? Hmm.
Why doesn't he want to talk about it?
Oh, I know.
Why doesn't she want to talk about it?
I have a very good idea, but I'm not gonna say anything. I want to let all this stuff kind of roll out. Let's get back to the case real quick because
Let's get back to the case. No,
I wasn't.
I'm watching the characters, the list of characters that they're gonna start pulling out of the
Yeah,
woodwork to say stuff.
yeah. So today, and we do have the audio. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying salute to Maya for dropping those two jewels.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Thank you, Maya. Yeah, I was gonna just say they were real like draconian with like, hey, no photos, no this, no that. But I'm curious to know who was able to get uh certain things released. Because I was there, I was taking notes like a good person, like I'm in school, right? And they were not allowing even the media pool. I guess they were not. Well, I guess they did it in the beginning, so that's why that got out. But when the jury was let in, no cameras at all. So we'll play the audio. We have the audio of the court proceedings, and this is before the 75 so people were in the courtroom for the jury selection.
Now,
And
before we get into that, there is a question in the chat from the last son of Krypton. You're asking about another interesting point in this whole saga that led to
mm-hmm,
battle that turned into beef that turned into chaos.
mm-hmm.
Pac's life. Last son of Krypton asks, like, who was the friend of Biggie that robbed Pac?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I guess they're talking about, or maybe I might be saying too much. Actually, I'm not.
Oh,
James
go ahead.
the henchman Rosemond
Jimmy Henchman.
is who you're talking about,
Jimmy Henchman.
who was allegedly paid $2,500 to ambush and rob Tupac. Okay. So, and there were a few other people, but there was an inmate that went by the name, well, whose name is actually Dexter Isaac, who confessed to being the one of the guys holding them things when Tupac was injured at Quad Studios. And that's wild because you can literally tie Jimmy the henchman right back to Puffy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So yeah.
And listen to what was it? Against All Odds on Machiavelli.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he called him out by name. He was Pac wasn't playing with him, but he, like I said, that's why I said Pac knew, and everybody knew what Jimmy Henchman was about. And yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. So back to the case, though. Back to the case. Now, 75 people are being looked at as potential jurors, but I believe about half of them, they probably got like 40 left. And regardless to what, if the jury selection takes a week, which it likely will, they're going to start trial on Monday, regardless.
Yeah.
They're starting trial on Monday.
They got it. They got to get it started.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what else was said. So I got my notes here. Keefe D is looking at a charge and 2 enhancements now. They have 2 enhancements.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't pull the trigger in the state of Nevada doesn't mean that you won't be held liable. So that's why he is on trial.
Is there a gang enhancement as well?
I believe that's what it is. Well, we can play the audio and you can tell me when to stop or whatever as far as.
Go ahead. I'm going to run to the bathroom. Go ahead. Get it started.
Go ahead.
That we wanted to talk about the jury selection protocol because it is different from how we usually do it.
Hang on.
No? Okay. Mr. Davis, my understanding is that Mr. Stamp has made you aware that you have the right to have the jury sentence you if they come back on a first-degree murder verdict. And you have decided to waive that right. Is that correct?
That's not.
Okay. So what that means is when I am talking to the jurors, I'm not going to tell them what the potential penalties are for first-degree murder. Additionally, I'm not going to ask them if they can abide by those penalties and come up with a sentencing agreement or sentencing decision. And then at the end of the day, if that is the verdict, it would be me sentencing you on that as well as the enhancement. Is that your understanding of everything that would happen given this waiver? Yeah. So in general, the defense would have, the jury would be able to sentence you on the first degree murder portion. That carries either 20 years to life or 20 to 50 years, 20 to life, or life without the possibility of parole. In any case, if there's an enhancement, and in this case there are 2 enhancements, there's both the gang enhancement as well as the deadly weapon enhancement, that is left up to the judge. In this case, if it's a first degree murder, that has to be an equal and consecutive 20 to life sentence or life without the possibility, 20 to 50 sentence, 20 to life, or life without the possibility of parole. So that would be up to the judge sentencing, no matter what the jury found. I'll give you a moment to consult with Mr. Saint.
All right. Pause. He said, you said you're old, but what lyrics did Biggie ever directly attack Tupac in ever? Brooklyn's Finest with him and Jay-Z. I think that's probably where you could, and it was a joke. Yep. That was it. If Faye had twins, she probably had 2 Pacs. That was a diss. Again, go back to Who Shot You Though. Taken in a certain context, Pac could take it a particular way as well. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only one that I know of from my hip hop history. But let's carry on.
Question while they're talking. Because you intend to panel in panel 36, is that 8 and 2 instead of 8 and 1?
Yes.
So it's 10 total.
Yeah, so I'll go over that. The general guidelines at this point. Once I finish with the canvas.
Thank you, Honor.
Okay, Mr. Davis, do you understand then what we've gone over?
Yes.
Any other questions I can answer at this time?
All good.
Okay, and you wish to waive your right to have the jury sentence you on the first degree murder if that is the verdict?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I will have the stipulation and waiver of penalty phase or penalty hearing filed. That should cut down the potential for how long this trial will last. Previous discussions had been 4 to 5 weeks. Is that still accurate state? To qualify the jury for?
Yes.
Mr. Sam, do you think that sounds reasonable, or do you?
No,
suggest
yeah,
longer?
I believe that's reasonable. I do
I
have
should have
one
took that out.
concern that's popped up that I
Because
wasn't
I think he
anticipating.
talking about something he has to take
I
care
might
of
be
on
asking the
the
court for a day
18th or
to
19th.
depose.
A day.
A day to depose Steve Wilson on August 19th.
August.
So
19th.
apparently my office had submitted a deposition subpoena for Mr. Wilson to make an appearance on a separate issue that's not related.
Unrelated to this case, you have a legal matter
Correct,
that
Your
may
Honor.
have to occur.
And that would be on the 19th.
Okay, and let me look.
Now, my concern is, of course, I would have moved it, but the problem is, though, that particular
And it would be in the
issue.
afternoon?
it,
Well, so here's why I'm saying that. I had gone dark on several of my civil days, but I was going every other day so I could keep my civil cases on track. So the 19th, we are starting at 1.
okay.
So if it's able to be in the morning, let me know. If it's something that has to be in the afternoon, let me know as soon as that happens.
I guess it just depends on how long we talk in that deposition, Your Honor. It might go a little longer. I'm hoping to get it done as quickly as possible. I just want to let the court know that we may get a little chatty in that one. And I'm anticipating that there will be a motion filed by the state anyways on that one to stay that particular deposition date because of some type of privilege that might be asserted. So as a
I mean,
result, think
this
that might be-
part, y'all, is kind of like
Just
whatever.
obviously-
This ain't even.
So I guess if that's something that comes up, we can address it as it comes up. I will definitely try to work around your schedule as I can. I understand it's hard to block out an entire month for trial. So just keep us up in the loop.
I will.
And then if possible, do it in the morning. But if not, I completely understand.
It's going to start in the morning. I just don't know if it's going to traipse into the afternoon.
Okay, cool. Anything to add on that? Looks like nothing from the state. Let's go over our jury selection protocols real quick, just so I have them on record, and then we'll bring our jury in. So this is going to be just sort of a special selection process. We're going to start with a panel for the hardship challenge, the hardship issues, and then for the second half of the hardship challenges, as well as the individual questioning, we're going to move into individual sequester. That's the agreement between the parties, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So it sounds like you guys know what's going to happen a little better than I do because you proposed it. So I'm going to sit back and watch, and I've got kind of the idea of what's going to happen there. The alternates in this case, we are going to do 4 alternates given the length of the case. And so we are going to then they're going to be in seats 13, 14, 15, and 16 once in panel. Preempts, like usual, we're going to exercise using the paper pass back and forth method. As we've already discussed, we will be bringing the jurors back for the peremptory challenges. So I anticipate having this full box filled on that day, which will be Thursday at 1 p.m. Do we anticipate once we get into the sequestered voir dire doing cause challenges up here at the bench?
Whatever court's preference.
Let's try to do it that way and see how that works.
Yes,
Okay? So then after every juror, we'll have everyone approach, say pass or challenge. Okay? Perfect. If you exercise all your preempts, you must use one on the alternate chairs. Mr. DiGiacomo brought up a very good point because we have extra peremptory or extra alternates here. You are getting an extra peremptory challenge. So you're going to get 10 total. Your last 2 have to be used on those alternate chairs. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Waiver of one challenge is not a waiver of all. And then, like we just talked about, the challenges for cause will be up at the bench after each side is finished with their questioning. If it happens earlier, you just don't think this is a suitable person, and it becomes very apparent, and you just guys want to approach in the middle. Let's do it that way. Okay? We don't have as many issues ultimately with other jurors being tainted by answers, so we can do a deeper dive than usual, given the individual sequestered nature.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring in the jury.
All right. So obviously, after them bringing in the jury, there's, you're not able to video or take photography of any of that. So
Not at all. Not at all. Which is why I find it interesting that there were people that were able to get their hands on, closed circuit court camera footage. So
I'm
fast.
assuming. No, what I'm assuming is because where I originally was, they were like, yeah, nothing. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
I did go up to the floor, and the media, of course, they were out there, so they were feeding that portion, that audio that we just heard. They were feeding,
Yes.
and I, cut out a length because there was a lot of like dead air, but they were feeding that to the rest of the you know news media. So, and that happened. That had to happen like 9:30. So we're like 6 hours ago. All this
Yeah.
was happening around 6 hours ago, and then they didn't really. I didn't see anyone to come out with it until right before we were gonna go live.
Yeah. So, not just so we're clear, this is jury selection. This isn't any actual preliminary hearing for the trial. This is literally just jury selection. There are going to be no court proceedings 9 times out of 10 regarding going over anything, opening statements, nothing like voir dire. It's just jury selection. So it's funny because, people are speculating and talking about, who's on the witness list, who's not on the witness list. I'm wondering why nobody thought to even consider Snoop Dogg for the witness list.
Why would he be?
Why would he be considered for the witness list?
Why? Yeah, because to be honest, he wasn't in Vegas.
No, he wasn't. He was at Warren G's house for a barbecue that he declined to go to weeks before that very night of the Tyson fight, and then showed up all of a sudden
Mm,
at the last minute, like he was
barbecue.
looking
Yeah.
for an alibi so that people could say that they saw him someplace. And yet, even though he was there, he had a chirper, which is like
He
an
had
old school updated version
a
of a
Nextel.
walkie-talkie. Yeah,
Yeah, the
he had a
Nextel.
Nextel chirper.
I remember the Boost Mobiles. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, he knew what had happened to Pac and Suge before it even showed up on the news, and he wasn't even in Vegas. He was listening to the whole thing. What are the odds that that was just a coincidence? Like, seriously. And I'm not making this up, because Warren G admitted it himself.
Yeah.
He talked about it on Drink Champs before Diddy got arrested.
The witness list. Let me see.
Really interesting. Because
They
in
help.
my opinion,
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
that little, oh, no, please. I was just finishing my statement. In my opinion alone, Snoop Dogg should be at least questioned for that.
Well, question maybe, but as far as being on the list, I don't know about all that. I don't know, but he definitely should be questioned.
I'm just
He
saying,
definitely should be questioned.
you were supposed to have been there. You didn't go. You ordered Daz and corrupting them to stay away from Vegas, not to go. There was supposed to have been this big party after the Tyson fight at the club that they were all supposed to be performing at. And all of a sudden, the last minute, you decide not to go to Vegas. You stay in LA, but you're listening to a chirper at the party that you go to of what's happening in Vegas. I don't know. I don't know. If I were the DA, I would want to know where that tripper came from, who you were talking to on the other end, and how you had that information so fast.
Hmm.
Because in order for him to have that information so fast, he would have had to been in contact with somebody that was there or present near the scene of the occurrence. That would mean a witness. Am I wrong?
No.
Like it wasn't the news. It wasn't a news report. He wasn't next of kin. Yet the moment that it happened, he was in communication with someone who could confirm that it happened, and it all popped up on a chirper while he was at Warren G's house when he told Warren he wasn't coming because he was going to Vegas and showed up unannounced last minute. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Well,
I'm just saying.
this whole case is not about. That's why I said I don't even think Snoop is a factor, because the trial is not really about who pulled the trigger. It's really about who a plan to prove Keefe D made calls that led to Pac's unalivement and
Isn't
provided
that
the
interesting?
pow pow to use on Pac. So that's why if
Who
he
got the
is
who got the pow pow though? Where is the pow
well,
pow?
so Snoop being a witness, he wouldn't have been a witness because he wouldn't. What they're trying to do is basically prove that he made the call to lead to Pac's unalignment. They can question Snoop, but that's why Suge was saying what he was saying. He's like, man, I'm not about to help y'all with anything because all Suge's gonna say is, I don't recall. I guarantee
Yeah,
you that's what Suge's
that's all
gonna
he's gonna
say.
say.
I don't recall. Let
You
me
don't
get
find
into
it
the
interesting though that they're only interested in all of the details that don't lead to anything other than what points back to making Keefe D responsible for it. Like,
well, they gotta have a fall guy. It's 30 years. They're gonna look like these people look. I've already said it, and I'm already calling it as far as the thing with the unalivement of Draco. Like they are just deliberately botching that whole little situation. They didn't give it to LAPD, they gave it to the CHP. Wow. So 30 years later, now that this whole situation has come about, and we're 30 years to the date when he got pow pot on uh, the off the Vegas Strip, law enforcement just looks inept. Now, Vegas, well, Nevada, most of Nevada, 87% of Nevada is owned, the land is owned by the federal government. So even at the time when Pac was here in they look inept, right? Like it basically like it, and it was still like even then back then the strip was so surveilled. It's
I
like
know.
Hollywood Boulevard. It's like Hollywood Boulevard. Like even before all this surveillance and flock cameras and all that, like Hollywood, you could walk all the way from one end to the other, and they could track you. You just didn't know it. Even I'm talking about
There's
even
no
back.
way no one saw what was going on. There's no way no one didn't know what happened, where it came from. Nothing. There's no way. I've walked that strip. You and I went. You filmed me. We were sitting there. We were looking at the gas stations where they chose to pull the footage from. The weaker view. When there was a gas station across the street that would have had better surveillance. Like all of that.
Yeah, they just
The blasting of the music, the girls that showed up that were able to scream, "Oh my God, it's Tupac!" in an area that was supposed to be deserted on a night like that, where the strip is popping on a Mike Tyson fight and nobody was around. Like,
no, they're gonna make it look like I said, people they're expecting a lot of people to forget details and stuff like that. Like I said, this whole little situation, they're just looking for the fall
clean up,
guy.
clean up.
They're looking for, hey, who we could put this on, because it's like the Diddy situation. I was telling the cat from Telemundo, and I got some updates too in regards to the jury selection. So when we can get into
Mm,
that, because
sure.
they're still there. But I got,
Yeah.
of course, I got my connections. So I was telling them, I was like, you really got to look into this Diddy stuff. And I was asking him, I was like, did this Diddy stuff look weird to you as far as that case that happened, the trial? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. He said what? He said, yeah, it's like a slap on the wrist. I said, exactly. I said, here we go with the same thing. In my opinion, I think this is just something to pacify the people and to not make law enforcement look as inept as they were,
Culpable or culpable.
or culpable too, because in all
I
honesty, yeah,
Let's stop talking. Let's stop talking about inept. Let's stop saying that law enforcement is inept. They are not inept, not by
if
any
they if
means, shape, or
if they want
form.
to if they want to resolve, or if they want to solve something, they know how to do it. I know that for a fact.
And if they
This
want
is
to let something ride, they let it ride.
and
And
this
if
is
they
what I
want to
mean. This is
and
what
if
I'm
they want
saying.
to find somebody and find a sucker, I just find it interesting that they waited for all of the hoopla around 50 Cent's documentary to calm down. And now all of a sudden, okay, let's have the trial for Keefe D.
Yeah,
They Keefe D has been in jail for 3 years waiting for trial. And in the midst of that time, Diddy was investigated, arrested, indicted, tried, sentenced. He's almost finished serving his time. And Keefe D's just going to trial. And he's been waiting since a year before Diddy got popped. Keefe D got Keefe D was popped before the Cassie lawsuit hit.
Hmm.
This sounds like a very, very, very well orchestrated cleanup plan.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, this trial happening before Diddy's trial might have made it almost impossible for them to slip by that RICO and slip by. Mm,
Now they still were going to do what they wanted to do. I honestly think they need to tie in. I mean, the so-called receipt, because that's why I'm telling everybody. I remember because I went to Compton High, and they were like, Biggie is over there in the South Side. It was like maybe a few days before he was unalive, and we were like, no. And I think photos came up somewhere. I forget where, but some photos came up. I have I have something I don't look into, because people are recalling about that whole little situation, because people forget about that. What so the reason why Biggie got unalive is because did Puffy owe them Southside Crips that $1 million? So
hmm.
and then it's in Compton, and then we got to understand that Reggie Wright, his dad, and I know Reggie's probably listening.
Compton.
Your dad, Reggie's dad, was a higher up in the Compton Police Department, which had to be
I
disbanded, and the
know.
sheriffs took over because they were doing so much
Illegal
corruption.
stuff from what I heard allegedly.
And Reggie quit because Reggie Wright Jr. was working for Compton Police too,
And then ended up
and quit and started working
working
for Death Row, right?
working for Death Row.
Yeah. See, I'm saying
Did he
there's a
quit
lot.
or did he quit or did he just get reassigned?
Well, it's one, two things could be correct. I don't know. We know how he listens, and you know how he gets. So let's just say,
If Reggie's feeling some type of way about it, tell him to pop the brakes up off them wheels and roll around about it.
I tried to set
Roll
it up.
around about it.
I told Lonzo, I said, "Yo, Lonzo, let's set something up with Reggie Wright, Jaguar Wright." I said, "Is Reggie Wright related to Jaguar Wright?" That shit was funny.
I pray to God not.
Uh,
The funny thing is it almost happened, except for
yeah, he started talking all kind of shit and he fucked it up.
no, he didn't start talking all kind of stuff. He went and sat with somebody and had a very ill-advised chat, running
Oh
his
yeah, yeah,
mouth,
yeah,
and let that person run their mouth
yeah,
about all kinds of stupid stuff
yeah.
and cost that interview because Reggie wanted that interview. Reggie wanted that sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I know for a fact that person didn't pay him for it. That
Mm-mm.
person is on Section 8 in Detroit begging for money and faking DV for fundraisers. So who paid you to sit over there? But I digress. You was going to go ahead, get into the
Well,
getting to.
let's just get into it. Like the people who may be expected to testify, I think they said they had 200 and something lists, but prosecutors are probably going to call maybe 35 or 45 during the trial. And these are people who saw Pac in his last moments before he was piled, and people who were in Keefe D's circle at the time and Pac's circle at the time. So the former mayor of Las Vegas, Oscar Goodman, he may testify, but no one unless on the list will necessarily testify for sure. These are just the attorney's potential jurors if they come up. So the person who took,
this is the draw to keep people interested.
yeah. The guy who took the picture, everybody knows that picture of Pac and Biggie. I'm sorry, Pac and Suge in the BMW, which is weird. If you look at that picture, why are there no keys in the ignition? Like, what was up with that?
It was never any keys.
What was up with that?
I don't understand that either. It's never made any sense.
See, this is why I'm glad y'all listen and we ask certain questions. It's like, come on, let's y'all look at that picture. The guy who took the picture, he's a California resident, Leonard Jefferson. They said he will testify, but y'all look at that picture and look, there are no keys in that ignition. Where were they going? What was up with that?
Number one, why would you get popped and then take the keys out of the ignition?
No. It was the picture before. He took the picture before. You know the picture that I'm talking about, right? Or you don't know? You don't know what I'm talking about.
I remember the picture. My bad. I do remember the picture you're talking about.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same planet because I was like, no, it's not the picture of. I don't know if there were any pictures of him getting of him popped like that, but of course there was footage and video of the aftermath. I'm talking about right before that picture, that infamous picture of Pac looking like he looking scared. If you really look at it, and Suge is just in the driver's seat with no keys in the car. Leonard Jefferson will be potentially there to testify. He's the one who took the picture. He's still alive. They're also expecting someone named Denvanta Lee, affiliate of the Southside Crips. Lee testified that the Crips and the Mob Piru were tied to Death Row and Bad Boy. No, for real. And that's why I said, look, I remember I was right there, epicenter, Compton High, What was up with the South Sides and Biggie? And then we already know Mob Pyru and Death Row. We already know that. So this person will be there to possibly testify. Because she said in the grand jury testimony, I don't know if it's a she or he. It sounds like a she. In a grand jury testimony, that rival gangs were tied to Death Row and Bad Boy, Mob Pyrus, and the Southside Crips.
Very
And
telling.
she wasn't there, or he wasn't there that night that of the powing and when Pac got popped. But Lee will testify that Anderson, Baby Lane, didn't have a clear shot. So somebody took the gun. Oh, well, I said my bad. Somebody took the pow and did the pounding.
There's a whole lot of impossible things that happened that night. But we do have a question from admin.
Uh
Salute to you, admin. Admin says, and thank you for the super chat. How come Suge Knight didn't get hit at all?
huh.
I know some
I,
people have been asking that question
I,
for years. Well, number one, we was just having this conversation earlier, were we not?
we were. I was gonna get into that because we got to talk about the physics of things. But yeah, good
Yeah,
question,
we do.
admin.
We do need to talk about that. And once again,
And you
thank
got
you
a new
for
member too.
the salute. Yes, we do. We have a new member here. Welcome,
Thank you.
Luna Moon. Appreciate you. Welcome to Jag Nation. I'm just saying it's all looking a little suspect. And even Dr. Jacko says, yeah, I just looked. No keys.
See this, and this is why I'm probably sure that's why this became a member, because we ask pertinent ass questions. We not over here. See, a lot of people be online and they're just talking just to create content and talking just to be talking just to hear themselves. No, we're asking pertinent ass questions. So yeah, salute Dr. Jacko. Real talk. If you seen it, you see it. You're like, wait, what? What part of the game is this?
And Acel's over there on Kick also bringing up something relevant regarding that. Acel says he said he got popped in the head, but he didn't. The glass cut his head. Now, we're not sure if it was glass or whether or not he got nicked or what actually happened. What I do know is that Suge Knight has lied on several occasions and said that he took a slug in his head, and that is not true.
That he if you took a slug to, that's like Trump getting piled in the ear. Come on, y'all. That's like
If he
Meg.
had
I'm
taken,
not. Let me not even go there.
if he was the first Meg the Stallion,
That was the first Meg. He was.
but this is the problem that I have. If there was that kind of open fire coming into that car, and for it all just to hit Pac, who was so much smaller than Suge, even on the exit, he would have still got touched. They were right next to each other.
I heard. You want to know what I heard? Pac saw it coming and tried to jump in the back seat, right? And Suge grabbed him and kind of had him as a shield. And that's how Pac took everything, and Suge, yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know. Suge, maybe you can tell me, something different, but that's what I heard.
You want to know what? I could totally see that as something real.
But it makes the most sense,
I
right?
would
Like,
like, but I would also like to go over if we can get our hands on the autopsy report, on Pac's autopsy report, to see where the entry wounds were and where things exited, especially
you you,
considering the holes that were in the side of the car. Like
you
I
think
need
that
that to make sense.
you think that will be that'll come out in discovery, or
Probably not, because it doesn't sound like they're interested in trying to prove anything about what actually happened. They're just worried about how to connect Keefe D to the
yeah, that's
responsibility for it happening, which is such a great way for people to not ever, ever, ever have to discuss any of the real findings or any of the real details that happened that night in that
yeah.
car out there. Uh, Flamingo and
So
Cobalt.
yeah, so let me continue with the
Please go ahead.
potential witnesses, and I'm gonna, we'll talk about what they talked about with the jury today.
Sure.
So the witness list previously said, the witness list includes others who previously testified to a grand jury, including Malcolm Greenidge. He was a friend of Pac who was traveling in his entourage that night. Reggie Wright, who grew up in Compton and did security for Death Row. He's also expected to testify.
Pork butt.
That, as Pac will call him, yes. But other witnesses will, I guess, let me see. There will be new ones. I guess they said someone who was a former mob pyro who was at Club 662 the night Pac was piled, and there'll be a bunch of former police officers and detectives, as well as gang experts, and of course,
Gang
there
expert.
that right.
So who's gonna be there? No jumper?
Uh, maybe Vlad. Vlad might be there. Let's see. I don't know. Um, former well, I already talked about the former mayor Oscar Goodman, and then the current governor, because the governor at the time was a Las Vegas police officer
That's
when
wild.
Pac, yeah, so he's the governor now, Lombardo, that guy, remember?
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah. So then now somebody is saying, will Puffy testify? That's just as ridiculous as
Suge.
Suge or Snoop. Well, I won't even say Snoop is ridiculous, but like I said, let's go back to this picture, y'all. Let's go back to this picture, man. And that's why I'll be having these receipts. Who is this? This is Keefe D. He was about 30 something years old. And that's
Mm.
Baby Lane on to the far Rizite. That's his nephew. These are them Southside Crips that I was talking about that was over by my high school. And I found it strange. I was like, yo, what's up with Biggie being in Compton in March of 96, 97? Like,
I'm going back to Cali.
somebody should have said, you better. Never mind.
Keep
Yeah,
that black ass home. Yeah.
that was to me, that was just like, I look. Yeah, man. I remember just waking up that morning and somebody was like, yeah, Biggie got, I was like, no, that's messed up.
And
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to the jurors, so Keefe D, he waived his right to have the jury recommended sentence. Y'all heard that. So this means that there won't be a penalty phase of the trial after the verdict comes in. The judge tells the jury pool to expect to be there like 5 weeks. Y'all heard that. 16 out of the 75 jury pool will be picked. And of course, they talk about the importance of jury duty. Judge asks the jury pool about medical issues that may impact their ability to serve. So juror 2 said he suffers from migraines. Juror 58 says she suffers from migraines. Juror 62 says she's a caretaker for her husband. The
Okay.
next the next question is about, who could speak English fluently. The judge asked the jury pool if they knew who Keefe D was, and his defense attorney or the prosecutor or the DA. Nobody raised their hands.
Everybody said no.
The judge asked if any of the jurors knew each other. One person raised their hand.
Mm.
So 2 hours after all that, 15, no, about 20 of the jurors got dismissed, like I told y'all.
Hmm.
And now jurors, after recess, they were being questioned individually. One juror question says, I hope the law works for everybody. Prosecutors asked, do you know anything about the case? Do you have any knowledge about how Mr. Shakur died? Juror says he has seen stories here and there. The last juror was questioned for nearly 40 minutes. Another prospective juror is asking why it took 30 years.
Great
Prosecutors
question.
prosecutors asked juror if there's all types of evidence that can show if someone's guilty of a crime. She says yes. Prosecutors ask if she's familiar with Tupac Shakur, Sean Combs. She says no.
That's wild.
There's a potential juror being questioned. Mesquite. Where's Mesquite? Mesquite is that in Nevada? Oh, it is. I guess that's near. Like I guess that's near Arizona.
Mm. There's a mesquite in Texas too.
Yeah. I was about to say Texas, but no, that wouldn't make sense. Obviously,
No, of course not.
yeah. Um, and that's it. That's what we got so far. So, like I said, I think about 20 of them. So they got about 50 something people, 40 something people that they're still picking through, and they'll probably be done in about 45 minutes.
This is the boring part for the public.
And that's why I'm not going back.
See, this
So
is the
Carla,
question. though.
Carla said she lying. She lying.
But see, this is the thing. To anybody who is interested in being there, I would like to pay very close attention to that because the only reason people like being around for jury selection
It's to find out who's
is to find out
exactly.
who's going to be on the jury.
Exactly.
And the question is, what are they going to do with this jury? Are they going to make sure that this jury is not tampered with? Are they going to do a better job than they did with Diddy's trial? Are they
Well,
just going to let these people walk in and walk out? Are they going to take their phones? Are they going to keep them off social media?
yeah, write these questions down because I'm going to email I sent you the email, but I'm going to send you that email. Well, I'll email them about that.
No, I saw and
'Cause
I have it.
we,
And
yeah, write those questions down. We need to ask those questions
yeah,
because you're right. Are they going to sequester the jury, which I doubt, 5 to 6 weeks, 4 to 5
they're
weeks.
probably not going to sequester anyone. But the thing is that old man that was running around with that little boy today.
Ah, he left though. He didn't stay. Just know that. But he's suspect exactly. In fact, maybe I'll make a call. We might need to let some people know about the way they be doing these.
Actually, I would like to make sure that we can send a list of people that they should be looking out for who may be coming there.
Well, get the list of questions and then write that list too, and then we can do that.
Because there's some people that already believe they know exactly how this is going to turn out and ain't interested in doing anything but making this content for their monetized videos. I also know that Reggie Wright Jr. is also very interested in the outcome of this case. And I get it, especially with Keefe D now talking about him and saying his name in regards to possibly having something to do with that. You know, the one thing that I'm realizing is that the way that they're handling this For years, a lot of people have been wondering why law enforcement has never been held accountable or even looked at suspiciously for all of the things that happened around the demise of Tupac Shakur. People keep forgetting that it was said that there were federal agents that were right there in the vicinity watching the whole thing go down. Now, I'm not saying that that's true, it's all alleged. But to hear you say things like, quoting facts, that 87% of Nevada is owned by the federal government,
87% of the land
when
owned
you
by
think
the
about
feds.
people like federal informants who get released from WITSAC, who end up living in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder about a lot of things. That's a very high number. So I guess we'll see. I'm sure that Reggie's testimony is going to be very colorful. I can't wait to hear what kind of stuff he rolls up on in his testimony. But in my opinion, I've said if he is, I think Keefe D lied about this whole business. I think he got that profit deal, and I think he was gaslighted and encouraged to play tough guy. It's just kind of sad because though I'm not a fan of that man, I'm not. I've made it very clear. When you have people that have been playing along, because you got to realize who he made his deal with was the government. Who he made his deal with was law enforcement. That's who he made his deal with. He didn't make his deal with normal people. These are the people that encouraged him that no matter what, as long as he cooperated, he was going to be cool. I'm surprised, like I said, that it took him as long as it did to finally admit that he had a profit deal to begin with. But it wasn't until they started pulling that stuff that he was willing to tell the truth. And he's been attacked in jail. He was granted bond and then his bond was taken away, which is crazy that they took his bond away because they said that they were doing it for his safety. How are you going to take somebody's bond away because you're afraid for their safety when the place where they're getting hurt is in jail? That was wild. I don't like seeing people get scapegoated when there are other things and other entities and other people that should be held equally as responsible for what's going on. But it's funny because I tell people that all of the time. Just because you make a deal with the government, the only thing that means is that you have to honor that deal. It doesn't mean that they do. They get to change their mind anytime they fucking want. All they got to do is take the person that was out that made the deal and replace them with someone else. And I promise you, there goes your protection. People got to stop playing. They got to stop playing with the law. I don't think people really understand, but that's just my opinion. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think that anyone should consider the government a friend. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this.
I think he's gonna. Well, y'all, what do y'all think? Do y'all think what do you think the outcome is gonna be? I know it's very early, but just from what,
Know what I think?
yeah, what do you think?
They're gonna find him guilty. They're gonna throw the book at him. That's what I think. What do you think?
Same thing. I think they need to have a fall guy. I think he's gonna be guilty, found guilty.
He would have to do a real big one and be holding on to a hell of a carrot to change this around. And if he can do that, what if he's found not guilty? I mean, anything's possible. But if he's found not guilty, then that means that they're going to have to keep on looking, ain't they? Because to go through all of this trouble, to put it on one person and to make it seem like they care about some kind of conclusion for this unsolved cold case, and to go through all of this and to waste taxpayers' money just to let him go, they would have to keep going, wouldn't they? I think they got things wrapped up the way they want them wrapped up with the diddler, and I think they want to wrap this part of the story up too. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Nah, you might be on point. Side note, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted like a mug. Um,
I hope it's
this,
about something
this
good.
well, these let's pray for. Is it Colombia? What is these earthquakes? These videos that come out from the earthquake don't even look. They look incredible because you don't know if it's AI or not. The building's collapsing, but I'm starting to think about direct energy weapons too. That's to me. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at. My whole head is on some other stuff right now too. Of course, I did the research and I brought you what I needed to bring you for this case. But I'm sitting there like, man, what's going on over here? I don't know if y'all peep, but
For those who do not know, there was a what is it, a 7.4 or
7.4, 7.5, yeah.
7.4 or 7.5 massive earthquake in what was it, the Western Colombia
I think
on the
so.
west side. Um, Ridiculous amount of devastation. Just like this area is devastated. We were looking at a video that you were showing me of construction workers working on a high structure and looking at it swinging back and forth like reeds in a marsh. Like it was, ooh, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad, Barb. So let's keep all of these people in our prayers because I mean I don't know. Like it's been a long time since there's been a big earthquake in the United States. I think the last really bad one that I remember wasn't it in San Francisco?
San Francisco, you talking about the 1800s? We had one before that in Northridge, 1994.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. Was that was that the Bay or was that LA?
That's LA. Northridge is the
That was
bad one.
LA. Yeah, that's what I okay. I couldn't remember which one it was, but it was really bad. And it wasn't I'm trying to think what was it? It wasn't like a 7 pointer.
It was six something.
It was six something, yeah.
Yeah, the 118 freeway collapse. Yeah,
I
Col-
remember the first time I was in LA and I was at my hotel room, and I think we were filming for Soul Train, and my God, I was asleep. And I sleep really heavy. But there was a whole earthquake going on, and I went to sleep. I woke up and I went back to sleep. And when I finally woke up, I looked around my room and I thought somebody broke into my room. So I called the front desk. I raised all kinds of hell. I'm like, somebody's been in my room. They done came, they done ran through my room. I'm looking to see if there's anything missing, if any of my jewelry is missing. I promise you it's gonna be They was like, Miss Wright, Miss Wright. And I said, what? He said, no one was in your room. What do you mean? I'm sitting here telling you my bed was half off, all of my stuff was turned over. They said, Miss Wright, there was an earthquake this morning. I said, "You gotta be kidding me." Okay, and thank you, Stacy. Yes, San Francisco. It was 1989. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, you talking
1989
about that one? Okay, all
was
right.
a
No,
big
no, no,
break.
no.
That
You're
was a
right.
big one.
That was a big one. I was thinking more closer to my childhood. And 94, I remember being woke up from that one. Like, yo, what the? It's crazy. But yeah, it was one in '89. I remember that.
Yeah, I was done. Somebody broke in on me. I was ready to. Yeah, no, it's just this earth moving around. That bothered me though, that I was able to wake up in the middle of an earthquake and go right back to sleep. Ooh, my goodness. Well, on that note, I guess we covered everything we needed to talk about for today.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep an eye on things, though, guys, and we are going to be walking this down. I've been waiting for this trial to happen for 3 years. So yeah, we're going to we're going to be watching, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of commentary. There's going to be a lot of content creators that have a lot to say, and I know that everybody is hoping and wanting for Keefe D to be found guilty. I just, I'm not saying that I disagree. I just don't. I think it's going to be for much different reasons than the truth. That's all. So we'll let you know what's going on. Do we have anything else, or is that it for today?
Nah, that's it. That's it, y'all.
Well, I want to thank Wolfgang Amadeus for making it over there to the courthouse to get us our exclusive intel from inside the courthouse. Appreciate you for that, and I'm sure everyone else here does. Um, we just try to keep it real with y'all. That's all. We try to make sure that you guys get what's honest because there's a lot of people that put 20 on 10. Like there's a lot of people that are gonna be, saying a lot of stuff. You think he's gonna be found guilty too? I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, we all do. I just think we all think it's gonna be for different reasons. I don't think he's gonna be found guilty because he's guilty though. I think he's gonna be found guilty because he's the black getaway driver who fell asleep in the car. So on that note, we'll see you guys later. And yeah, don't believe the hype. Mm. Until next time, and yeah, and salute to everybody over there on Kick as well. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is it's gonna be some shit. Peace out.